Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome back to Be Determined. Today we're going to talk about how to beat every single Rev boss in the game, but first, please make sure you're subscribed. We're trying to get to 100 subs by my birthday in October, so if you can help us out, please make sure to do that. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's move on to talking about the Slayers. There are 5 tiers of Revenant Slayer bosses, and to spawn them you have to talk to Maddox via either directly, you can go to him in the hub, or you can use a Maddox bat phone to contact him. Then you start your Slayer of choice. Each Slayer costs a certain amount of coins, so make sure that you have a decent amount of money in your purse. Then you'll have to kill a certain amount of zombies to spawn in the Rev boss. The higher level the zombie, the faster you spawn in the boss. Currently, you can find zombies at the main hub, on most mining islands, from fishing, and in dungeons. Personally, I prefer to grind the crypt ghouls in the hub since they're pretty close to each other and I can kill a lot with one hit from a spirit scepter. Now, let's talk about the bosses that you'll be spawning and the cheapest ways to beat each one of them. First up is the tier 1 Revenant. This guy's pretty easy to kill, shouldn't be a challenge at all. Even if you just started playing, you can invest less than 100k and you'll be able to not only beat the tier 1 but the tier 2 with the same setup. The tier 1 only has 500 health and he only deals 15 damage per hit. To survive, you'll want to buy a dungeon set from the auction house as well as a dungeon sword. Make sure that when you're buying it at the auction house, it doesn't say catacombs level required in red at the bottom of the item. Once you have a full set of this armor, it doesn't have to match. You should be able to beat a tier 2 as well as a tier 1. The fights are pretty simple. The boss has one ability where he steals a little health from you every 2.5 seconds, but his lack of health and damage will make it pretty easy to beat him. Now let's talk about the tier 2s. They're pretty easy as well, but he does have an AoE attack that removes 25% of your defense, so you have to be a little bit more careful. He has 20,000 health and it will take longer than tier 1 if you don't deal that much damage. If you're having trouble with it, try crafting a wand of healing. You unlock this recipe at level 1 of the Slayer and it's really cheap, but it is definitely worth it. The upgraded version of this wand is actually one of the best healing items in the game, so you would want to craft it at some point anyways. If you're still having trouble even with the wand, make sure that you have a decent amount of combat XP so your combat level is pretty high, and you might want to invest in some talismans. Talisman spam is so good. It can be even better than armor if you have enough talismans. So make sure you invest in that if you're having trouble with tier 2s. Now let's talk tier 3s. Tier 3s are where things get a little bit more tricky. You're going to want at least Revenant leggings and boots with a crystallized heart and probably a zombie chestplate for armor. A Revenant falchion is also a pretty much required item. You can also upgrade your wand of healing to a wand of mending. That will help a lot. Tier 3s have 400,000 health and deal 120 damage per hit, but that's not even the hard part of these guys. Every 40 seconds they'll become enraged. During the rage period, his range is increased by 50% and he deals 5 times more AoE damage. Surviving this part of the fight is crucial, so try and keep your distance and use your wand to heal if you need to. While he's enraged, his armor will turn red, so you'll know when he's enraged. Also, a sound effect will play. If you're having too much trouble, you'll probably have to get more talismans again or increase your combat level some more. You may want to try and get your Wolf Slayer up enough to get at least a Radiant or Mana Flux power orb, or get your hands on an Ornate Zombie Sword. This is one of the best healing items in the game as well. Alright, now let's talk tier 4s. Tier 4s are basically just really tough tier 3s. They have 1.5 mil health and deal 400 damage. You'll probably want to get your hands on a Revenant chestplate at least, and a revived heart if you can, instead of the crystallized heart. A Reaper mask would be great if you can get one of those, and a Reaper falchion would also be really nice. Honestly, a Reaper falchion is almost required. You can upgrade your wand of mending to a wand of restoration as well to give some extra healing, but same as the tier 3s, you just want to stay away from them during the rage period if you're struggling. Tier 5s are on a whole nother level. If you recently tried a tier 4 and had any trouble with it at all in any way, shape, or form, you're not going to want to try and beat this guy. He's way too tough. Unless, of course, you want to understand his limitless power and lose 100k in the process. Alright, his power is not limitless, but you'll need to take the best possible actions to make sure you're prepared for him. A full Reaper set is a necessity, and you want to get a decent amount of kills on it as well so you've got good defense against zombies. A Wand of Atonement would also be really good, and you'll need to have a Reaper falchion at the least. If you deal more damage with a different weapon, you can test it out on the mediocre zombies, then you should go with that weapon instead. Personally, I use a Reaper Scythe, but a Reaper falchion should do the trick. This guy has multiple phases, so it takes some time to learn the fight before you master it as well. So keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated on your first try unless you got defeated in like the first 10 seconds. The boss has 10 million health and he deals 2,500 damage per hit. At the start, he'll throw out little TNT bombs, which will color the ground where they're going to land, so you have time to move. It's best to do a circular motion so that the bombs will constantly be landing behind you. Even if you can tank the bombs, I don't recommend it because it actually heals the boss whenever he gets a hit on you. After about 30 seconds, the boss will charge up and start turning the ground into bedrock. After a few seconds, he'll strike the bedrock with lightning. This lightning will one-shot you 100% of the time, so make sure you get out of the danger zone before the lightning strikes. You can get a few free hits off while he's charging up, but don't play too risky or you'll lose the fight. He can do this attack multiple times per fight depending on how fast you kill him, so be aware of it at all times. Once you get him below 5 million HP, he'll start doubling his TNT speed. That means he'll throw the TNT twice as fast. So you've got to move around even faster and make sure you don't fall back into those danger zones. You still have to keep hitting him the whole time or he'll start healing back his health and get back over 5 mil. If you do manage to kill him, congratulations, man. You've defeated the second hardest boss outside of dungeons so far. Maybe if you kill it enough, you'll get lucky and drop a Warden Heart. I still haven't dropped one. Alright, that's all for me. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. Also, another reminder, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Plus, my album is linked in the description as well, so that also helps me out a lot if you download that. All the music in this video is on that album, so if you liked anything you heard, be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys soon. God bless.